Angeles. It is March 13th, 2023. This is Drug Dealers to Businessmen podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Cofield, and this is the weekly tap in. I'm tapping in. What's going on, y'all? Let me get closer and more intimate. Hold on. Those who are watching us live, we appreciate you tapping in, as always. And those who are watching us or listening to us on the replay, man, we certainly appreciate you tapping in as always. Man, we are moving along, man. We are showing what? Consistency first and foremost. So, as we always do, if you're watching on the live, make sure you hit the subscription over there or leave a comment. Let us know where you tapping in from, where you watching the live from, so we can give you a shout out, man. We love watching who our viewers are, more importantly, where our listeners are tapping in from, man. We getting love from New Zealand, you name it. What's going on, ATL? I see you. As always, baby. Um, we get love from a lot of love from New Zealand, Australia, UK. Let's see where else we deep at. We're even getting some South American love, man. Argentina, Brazil. Where else we getting love? Philippines, Indonesia. Um, what Greece, Canada. I can go on and on, man. They showing us love, but more importantly, my United States family who holding it down. I appreciate that. But the struggle's real. Doesn't matter where you're from. It matters the mentality, man. And whatever you was pushing at that time, man, our whole goal with this podcast is to move you away from that, man, so you could really show the world what you're capable of. So that's the whole reason why we in this thing all the time. Anniston, Alabama. What's going on, William? Appreciate you tapping in, man. Salute. So yeah, man, that's the whole goal, is really to tap in to your power, to show the world, man, I'm not just this, right? They talk about shut up and dribble. A lot of people think we limited to just them them Pyrex pots and bags and scales, man. We way more complex than that. And my goal is to really expose that. And even if you wasn't a D-boy, right? You trying to change your life around, this is the podcast for you. Doesn't matter if you was a D-boy or not. That's irrelevant. I talk about the D-boy stuff to a certain extent, and then I break off into things that relate to everybody, because everybody wasn't that frame, wasn't like that. Let me adjust my camera real quick again. All right. So everybody wasn't in that frame of mind. What's going on, Tanisha? Appreciate you tapping in. So everybody wasn't there. But nonetheless, let's talk about that, man, because this podcast is talking about, when you're ready, God will pull you up. That's it. When you're ready, and not a minute before. And let's take it back to the D-boy thing. Let's take it back to that, man, because I've gotten experience with that as well as it relates to this particular topic, man. And we think about things that are just related to once I get old. But think about experience wise, right? So back in the day, if you was selling dope, say for instance you was selling rocks or whatever the case may be, right? And you just getting introduced to a particular game. I remember these days. You just finding out about double ups. You just learning about how all this whole little ecosystem works. And just think about what we want at that time, right? And if we were granted this wish, right? Just think about the genie, and think about all the genie stories that you've heard over time. They've always resulted in, I wasn't ready to make these kind of decisions. And I thought that these decisions would actually get me to a place that I thought they would be, but actually I wasn't ready. And when you take it back to what's going on, Veronica, appreciate you tapping in from Barstow, Cali in the building. When you think about that, right, we're just getting into the game, a dangerous ass game, right? And I know a lot of young heads. I was a young head in the game, right? What's going on? What's going on, Joe? Appreciate it. Phoenix tapping in. I was a young head in the game, man. I got in the game when I was about 11, about 11 years old, 11, 12 years old. And I was a young, and it was scary, right? I ain't even gonna front. That shit was scary. It was hella scary, as a matter of fact. No training. You know what I'm saying? I had homeboys, but it wasn't no real, like, you know what I mean? Training for that kind of stuff. And just think about it. You like, man, I want a brick. Man, if you had a brick at that age, man, you'd probably be dead. And I see a lot of young heads who was like that, who was up, right? And you hear about a lot of times it went bad because why? Too young. These cats are manhandlers. You got grown ass men that are in that game. It's like playing basketball. Yeah, you may have talent to play against other kids your age, but you ain't ready. I'm gonna be in the NBA. I think I can woo, 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 woo. Man, one of them cats throw a pick and light your low ass up, then you'll see, like, oh, it's levels to this, right? It's not just I want and therefore I have. No, it's levels to all this stuff. And if you move too soon, you'll it won't be what you think it will be. And I think about that. I'm like, man, if I would have had the money, if I would have had the work at that time when I was thinking I should have had the work, oh man, it could have went really bad, right? You attract a different kind of wolf. You know what else? I can go on and on. You attract a different kind of wolf. You attract a different type of police. It ain't the same game, right? It's not. So at that time, you got to check. You think you want it. I'm like, man, yeah, I'm balling. I'm ready for something like this. That's what you think, but you're not. And I've seen a lot of people move too fast and end up getting federal cases. Young age, man, washed. Oh, dude, what happened to dude? He washed. Oh, but he was balling. No, he moved too fast, right? And when you're not ready, you'll be exposed, right? It's so easy to expose you. That's why I don't understand. And I even consider myself guilty of this. Why we're in such a freaking hurry. I tell my students all the time, I'm like, man, please, for the sake of God, slow down. They are so ready to graduate. I gotta graduate, professor. I'm like, I'm ready to be done. I'm like, done? You're in the land of resources. It's not gonna get better than this, right? It's not gonna get any better than this. Period. Why? Because you're in a position to learn. You're in a position where the resources are pretty much coming with your tuition. You're in a position to where you can make mistakes and they won't be fatal towards your career. You're in a position to experiment. You're in a position to where you got access to this library of just books and you ready to run out of here? No, be ready to run out of the pen. You feel what I'm saying? Be ready to run out of the county jail. Be ready to run out of a household where everybody in that motherfucker is negative, right? Be ready to run from that, but don't be ready to run from the information. That's the thing, man. There's a lot of people that hate information and they wonder why they won't get themselves pulled up, right? There's a saying in the Bible, and I don't quote it. You guys can quote it if you want to put it in the chat, but it talks about they'll call you up when you're ready. It's not going to be a self-nomination. It's not going to be you and your homeboys nominating you. They'll call you when you're ready. When your time is right, when everything is situated to where you have the experience, you have the resources, you have everything aligned, then your dream will show up. It doesn't show up early. It doesn't show up unannounced. It doesn't show up late, right? Nipsey also said, perfect time, it seems like I'm too late. It doesn't show up late. It shows up right when it's supposed to. So the best thing for us to start doing is get to work. We got to get to work and get busy either making mistakes, making our way towards our dream, but we got to get moving. That's the one thing that's not debatable is movement. We can debate intent, we can debate results, we can debate all that, but we can't debate movement. You have to move. You can't sit there and expect things to land on you, right? They'll pull you up. You can't sit there and expect, like, I need to come in at this level. No, you don't, man. You need to go with the flow, right? Whatever's next. You need to go experiment, poke the box, fail so that you can fail away from the things that aren't for you, first of all. That's the one thing that you want to do is fail away from the things that aren't destined for you. And those things would be obvious, right? Oh, let me step towards this. You're like, man, that's the worst thing. That ain't for you then. Well, at least you found that out. You don't want to be like them students that I talk about all the time who think they wanted to do something and then damn near about to graduate and realize, you know what? I actually really love marketing. Well, you picked biology. Shit, I thought you was, and that's the thing. So You don't want to be in that situation. So it's good to experiment with a lot of different things. I'm not saying just be a flake. There's a difference between being a flake, right? Not committing to anything. I'm not saying that. I'm saying finish, right? But go get in it and see if you like it and see if you don't like it. More importantly, right? It's the things that you say no to will get you closer to your dreams than the things you say yes to. Because when you're occupied with another opportunity, it's a thing called opportunity cost that a lot of people don't talk about. But opportunity cost meaning that if I'm over here, it's costing me another opportunity here, right? So think about what you're committed to now, right? What am I spending my time on that's an opportunity cost for me to be doing something that really can advance me? It can advance me, it can advance my career, it can advance my family. What am I saying no to by saying yes to this bullshit? Right? Because a lot of times we don't think about that. We don't think about, yo, a lot of times we need to focus on more important things, right? The things that are actually going to get us to where we need to be in life. Not this, because this is a waste of time. You may have to go do something hard and difficult, but it's going to get you closer to what you're doing, right? So quit wasting time. I say no to a lot more things now. I used to say, yeah, I used to be gassed when somebody used to come to me and be like, man, you want to come speak? I'm like, hell no, not now. Why? Because I'm saving it. I'm not going to be available all the time. I've put in my work. Trust me. I've been at every juvenile hall in LA County, all of them, camps, you name it. I've been there speaking. I put in my time. Now, you want me? I tell first, it has to be something that I'm passionate about, right? First of all, it has to be something that has some type of meaning. I'm not just going to talk. I know I can change lives, but I can also change lives right here too. So if I'm going to actually go physically speak, I'd rather go talk to the hard heads, the knuckleheads who I can relate to. And I'm getting a little bit older. So I can't relate to the juveniles no more. Now I'm talking to the adults. So it made more sense to talk to the homies in the pen who coming home, trying to figure it out. I'm like, what'd you learn in there? You know, the first thing I'm asking, what'd you learn in there, homie? Because you learned something. You was in there for a long time. Tell me you spent time doing something else besides talking to these cats. Please. Right. So I may find my time in doing something else, but there's a lot more things that I say no to. And I'm available to those things I'm saying hell yes to. Right. I forget what book it comes from, right? But they say, if it's not a hell yeah, it's a hell no. Period. If you're not passionate and lit about it, quit saying stuff to soggy things that don't have genuine meaning because you won't be available for the things that are really gonna get you there. So if you don't feel hunted about it, pass, dog. I'm hood. Y'all go ahead. Let me know how it works out. You know what I'm saying? Not like that I'm above nothing, but you got to keep your interest, right? If this ain't moving my needle, then why am I putting gas in this car? Period. It's not doing anything for me. So now I need to find the things that are beneficial to me. What are those things that are going to advance my career? Right? We're doing a thing in one of my classes called keyword mapping. And with keyword mapping, what you do is you find keywords and you map them to specific pages on your website. So that when people are searching for these keywords, hopefully they get to that particular page. And we need to start doing that with our activities, right? We need to start life mapping shit, right? Well, we're putting here, I need to do this. What are the things that are going to get me there? Okay, I want to do the. Okay, I need to do boom, boom, and boom. So when you have free time, because there's a lot of it, when you have those times and you need to fill those pockets of air, energy, whatever the case may be, you have a tool to do it with, right? You already have it. I know what I need to do. I need to do my man. Look, sitting right here. Thou shall not drift, right? I'm not impossible, right? That's called what? You guys remember that? I'm acting like my teacher now. That's called what, students? It's called habit stacking, right? So if you know you sitting somewhere, you know you're going to be somewhere, you set yourself up for success. You put your journal down there, you put a book that you're supposed to read, you're supposed to do all those things. That's called habit stacking. This is game, right? This is a lot of books been read on this stuff. So you need to prepare yourself for when you are pulled up because you'll be ready when you're pulled up. That's how you know you're ready, right? Because you'll be pulled up. It's not going to be, I got to extort myself. I got to run. I got to go dance in front of these people and let everybody know how important I am. You see, I kind of fell back from that. I barely even talk on Facebook anymore or Instagram because I don't feel like I need to do that anymore. And when they want to hear me, they'll come and see me. Period. I'm more on magnetism now. What's going on, family? Appreciate you tapping in. Yeah. Hey Z. But that's what I'm on now, right? I'm on some, you get ready. I gotta attract you. If not, then it ain't for your boy. Period. And I'll wait for myself to be pulled up by the gods. And hopefully you have that same confidence that they will pull you up, and you need to be preparing yourself in the time. Getting busy. What do I need to do? Let me life map. Right? I told you guys about keyword mapping. This thing will get me there. Why? Because it got him there. It got her there. This is why you study amazing and great people. I love biographies, right? I want to learn about what they did. See if it was hard for them too. If it was hard for them as well, then shit, I'm not alone. I'm not alone in my journey. I was talking to my wife about that. One of the worst things that we do, and I do it to my son all the time, and I torture him with it. And it's not fair to him because we compare. Look at this kid. Like you don't know what they do. Like I said, my son does 4 or 5 different things, and we can't compare him to somebody who that's all they've done their entire life, and you don't know what their day one looked like. And that's what our problem is a lot of times, right? We compare our day ones with cats day year 19. Yeah, he could talk like that. Yeah, he's smooth like that. Yeah, they got verbal game. They've been talking for 19 years. You just opened your mouth. Why are you expecting them to pull you up that fast to greatness? Greatness is achieved over time. Greatness is it's not a moment. That's where a lot of people get it twisted, man. They think greatness is a moment. It's a moment in time where I'm great. It's over a period of time, a body of work. What have you done, man? I've been doing radio. I did entrepreneurship. I've been in classrooms. By the time I'm finished, you're gonna be like, okay, your body of work is right. You can come up here with us now. And that's what so let's get busy. We got work to do. We ain't got time to sit up there and have expectations and entitlements, attitudes like we supposed to have something. It ain't here yet. We ain't ready yet. Get to work. Get your pencil cracking. Get that imagination popping. Right? You need to be thinking things into existence, homie, until that time comes. What you thinking about? BS? Watch what you watch. Watch who you talking to. Watch who you listening to. You got to be positive energy all the time. Period. People talk about that realist stuff. There was, certain books I was reading. I'm like, man, they get to talking about, what are you too positive? Man, please. No such thing. Well, you need to look. Why do I need to address the negative? For what? It's already what it is. I get it. I'm not giving it more power though. That's just my philosophy. Now you can live by what you want to. But I'm a firm believer in whatever we watch comes to our minds, and what's in our minds comes out our mouths. So if we're talking about, I could tell by how somebody's feeling just by what they post. I'm like, man, they only come around when somebody die. Oh, R.I.P. I'm like, okay, we ain't like, okay, they dealing with something, right? And like me, I'm just like, I don't want to seem like I'm that person who's always posting positive, even though I could do it every day because I got to motivate myself first of all. That's the part that people miss, man. I gotta lift myself up out of bed every day and get popping. Being black, being all these quote unquote supposedly disadvantages. But one thing I understand is that we dealing with God, and God doesn't give you a disadvantage. He gives you an advantage with everything he gives you. You got the right package. Contrary to what society's probably telling you, contrary to what maybe your family members, whoever, but you got the right package. Trust me on that one. He didn't make a mistake. He's not sending Amazon to come swap it out. None of that stuff. You got the right one. Now, there's no instructions with your package. So you got to figure some shit out. That's the key right there, right? You got the right package, no instructions though. It's one of them packages you're like, man, once you figure it out, you're gonna be like, man, this is a masterpiece. This is what, man. and God's just gonna move on because you don't have to tell him what he already knows. This is what I've always. This is perfect, man. Really? That's how he looking at you. Like you don't think I know that, dog? You don't think I'm aware of what's perfect for you? I've been studying you, man. I saw you from inception. I know you saw. I know this is what we talk. That's our cell phone, and communication is your soul. And some people's, line's been temporarily suspended, disconnected, all that stuff. I get that, right? But you need to tap into yours because that's your direct connection to God, and that intuition is your warning or your green light, right? We thinking we got to go to all these places. You ain't even got to go to me to get to God. Trust me on that at all. But you can go directly to that cat and ask what the criteria is. What do I need to work on? And it will show up and arrive. And when you're ready, then you'll get pulled up. But you got to be careful. That's the thing. Now, when I tell you guys stuff, homie, you know what I'm saying? What's going on, South Central? John, appreciate you tapping in. I'll tell you guys stuff. I always want to be really cautious on that. This kind of stuff works for me. Now, again, I always put that caveat out there. Just pay attention to the paradigms, principles, mechanics, not the actuals, because results may vary. Right? You may get a blessing faster than me, man. You better know how to handle it though. Right? And you got to understand if you are getting what you think you deserve, then you might be ready. Do the right thing. Don't lose it. Don't blow it. God does give second chances though, but I'm telling you, don't blow it. Right? Be ready. Be willing to do something different and better. I know we went through a lot of bread when we was playing around in that game. Messing off, constantly messing off and not doing the right thing. Right? And now I'm looking at things different, investing in different types of things for the kids, trying to get them ahead of things, right? Some of the things that we missed. Right? But I'm staying in an environment of learning as well. So I know that this is my last stop. These entrepreneurial things that we're doing right now isn't the last stop. And I quit sweating the dream. I quit pressing it like that. I'm like, God, I'm gonna just get to work, dog. I'm gonna let you work out the big shit. I'm gonna just get to work. I'm gonna just put my head down and figure out what my next move is. I'm already thinking like, okay, so can I write another paper can I do it by myself? I saw somewhere that they really give, more credence to people who do papers alone. And there was one I want to do on advertising where I don't need to actually interact with human subjects. So is that my next move, guys? So I can put more on, see if I can get that published by myself? Possibly. And guess what I'm doing right now? I'm showing you guys a perfect example of talking something into existence live, right? So next time you be like, man, I remember when he did that he was sitting there talking and he just, yeah, dog. It's like that. And God know you can't talk yourself into a Lambo though if you don't have a Lambo mentality. I'll let that one sink in for a minute, right? So you can't talk yourself into a Lambo if you don't have a Lambo mentality. Now you may have a Lambo mentality and may not even want the Lambo. I know I can get that shit. I ain't even worried about it. I don't need that, because that's what I don't need that. Not that. That part I'm not missing, right? I need other stuff. I need that PhD. Now that part I'm missing, right? Because I feel like, education is a big deal to me, not stuff, right? But holding that level and like, I don't have to study anymore. There's nothing higher than this. That's that hits different for me, right? And everybody's wired different, right? So the thing about that is, even with speaking with research, I didn't get pulled up until I was ready. I had to put my I had to do the cannabis paper first. Me and Dr. Sykes, like I had to do that first with no help. And then once I start doing that, people are like, okay, well, then there's hey man, pull you up. Next thing you know, you'll be on a few different projects. So sometimes you got to go out there and put your best foot forward first, way before anybody even sees you. We're so used to seeing things at the end, right? They always say what's what the average millionaire or the average successful businessman is in his 60s. Think about that. Takes a long success is homie. You said the art and science to say, oh man, art and go. Hey Joe. Have you seen the video with Mr. Prince on here, man? Go ahead and watch that video, man. The book is fantastic. Absolutely amazing. Love it, man. One of the best books I've ever read in my entire life. Love that book. Read it from cover to cover quickly. So appreciate that, Joe, man. Yeah, Mr. Prince blessed us with his presence on this podcast. So we appreciated that, man. We've been rocking with that brother for a minute. You'll see the joke in there when I talk about his if you watch the video, I talk about his alligator jacket. I saw that when we was at Source Magazine at one of my lowest points in my life. And he had an alligator jacket on in there. And we laugh at that in there, man. So yeah, man, great. Excellent book though, man. I'm really big on reading. I believe that that's the only way to real success is by listening to other people articulate. And it does a few things for us as well, not only for articulation purposes, but we get our vocabulary. We learn different words. We learn how sentence structure. We may get inspired to write our own books to realize it's not as difficult as we thought it was. Right. So reading is you just got to find the thing that floats your boat, right? And find the time. A lot of times what the most challenging part about reading is we don't have the time or place to do it. This our environment is either chaotic or we're coming home, we're exhausted. So a solution to that is perhaps Audible. If you're thinking about it, that may be a better solution. Listening while you're working, throw your podcast, throw it on your earpods or your earbuds, and then go from there, right? But whatever it takes, learn. Learn, because what's going to happen is whether you get inspired by a story in there, put you up on another book title, right? But it's all God's plan. That's that doesn't that give you comfort in life to know that all this is part of God's plan, whatever it is we're going through, even the highs and lows, they're all part of God's plan. So when you think about it, we should just embrace it and be ready to walk outside and look for every day because we know it's a blessing or a lesson. That's it. It's only two things popping. It's a blessing or a lesson, which is fine, right? But everything is for your good, all of it, all of it. And we talked about that. Everything is for your good. You ain't losing nothing. So embrace it, right? The suck, because that's where your character is being built. That's to see how you gonna act. How you gonna act with nothing? And then how you gonna act with everything? I want to see the two extremes, right? Because even when we had quote unquote nothing, we were still trying to do something. We didn't lose sight of our dreams and goals. I'm sitting up there, my wife is going off. I need this. And I'm like, LA, how? There's a will, there's always, you don't know how. And it's not your problem. It's not, I'll quote my brother Les Brown again. It's none of your spiritual business. How? You don't need to be in the kitchen when God's making the sausage of your life. What you need to be in there for? I need to know where you got this from. God, you put enough in. Hey, did you use nutmeg in it? Hey, homie, get your ass up out the kitchen. What you in here for? You know how to break. Well, the homie said miracles had these in them. Man, you don't get your ass up out this kitchen. Because that's how sometimes we act, right? The homie said, when's the last miracle the homie performed? Well, I heard it from who? I'm the only one that performs miracles. How could you hear it from somebody else? You feel what I'm saying? For real. How? Well, so you got to leave God alone when he in there trying to fix your life. You just need to get to work on your side of shit, the stuff you can control. Because he's gonna look at you like, man, I've been sitting here with all this good stuff waiting on you, but you won't even cross your own lines. You won't even do what you're supposed to do at the bare minimum. I'm asking you to walk. I'm asking you to read a book. I'm asking you to read a magazine. Matter of fact, I ain't even asked you to read nothing. Listen to something. Nah, God, I'ma just kick it with the drama. Well, what do you want, homie? Because you saying one thing, right? You saying you a vegan, and here you are ordering cheeseburgers and steaks. I can't figure out which one you are. You know what I'm saying? Which one are you? So you got to be straight up and tell him, man, this is what I need. This is it. Okay, get to work. You told me what you wanted. This is what's required. Are you willing to walk? Are you willing to do this? Are you willing to sacrifice? If not, call me when you're ready. I still got your bag. I still got it. I'm not going to get rid of it because it doesn't fit anybody else. It's your size, your life, your dream, custom made for you. Your twin don't even have this. I got them a different bag. So why you keep asking and looking to the left and to the right and trying to model yourself after somebody who doesn't exist? You're the only one I built like you. That's it. There is no other ones. You're the only one I built like you. Yet you're comparing yourself to this version? No, this is a different model. This is like the mattress game, right? You know how the mattress game works? You can't buy nothing's on sale. They'll be like, we'll beat any price. Why? Because manufacturers make different mattresses for different manufacturers, for different retailers. So you'll never be able to compare a price. Basically, the same thing as us. You'll never be able to compare to another individual. Why? Because nobody's like you. Nobody. There's no, I don't care if they walk like you, they little versions of you, the baby, whatever. They got 50% of somebody else's DNA. They are not you. They may have certain features and characteristics, but there's only one person that walks like you. There's only one person who talks like you. You got so many unique characteristics. There's no reason to try to copy anybody else. There's no reason to compare to anybody else. Their plight is their plight. Period. Not yours. So we need to embrace our uniqueness. Go after our dreams, understanding that we will be pulled up when we're ready. So we need to go look and embrace experiences. Period. Right? You have to. Yeah, and it goes back to losing weight and all that. But a lot of people, what happens is, and I tell people this all the time, small chunks, dog. One thing at a time, right? Don't do like I was talking to my students. I said, don't have Harvard. I want to go to Harvard. Get an A in every class. You'll get to Harvard. But focus on the A. Every little semester, you compartmentalize. I'm doing this. I'm gonna get an A in this. Then I'm gonna get an A in this. Then I'm gonna get an A in this, right? But that's it. But over a period of time, and you guys have heard the same story Will Smith talks about in his book when he talks about the brick lane. That's it. Focus on one thing at a time. That's it. Don't be so far ahead because when you're so far ahead, man, it gets intimidating and thick. Harvard is thick, dog. But one A at a time is digestible. Harvard, shit, man, that's intimidating, almost to make you tap out. That's almost like somebody talking about weight, losing weight. That's like saying I need to lose 100 pounds. That's thick, dog. That's life changing. Start with a zip. Good old ounce, OZ, homie. Start with a zip. Real, I ain't playing. Start there. Start with a half ounce. Start with a quarter piece. Shit, don't matter. Quarter piece of fat, right? If my stuff right, I'm back. Like my game almost right. Remember he's at a quarter, the chunky ones. Start with that. That's more digestible than sitting up there saying, I'm going to lose 100 pounds. That's a lot to digest, homie, and hella intimidating. So you don't want to make the goal so far out of your reach that you stop playing with it. It needs to be something. Okay, well, I know I need to do this. I know, okay, I know I need, like mine is UCI. I'm taking baby steps. I'm like, okay, well, shit, let me introduce myself to this. Let me go walk the campus, the basic stuff. Because I'm trying to attract it, homie. I'm not trying to chase that shit. I'm trying to attract it. I'm trying to be pulled in like, hey, yo, we want you. That's what I'm trying to do. And I know I'll get there. Why? Because the things that I'm doing today are expanding my networks to always connect me to the very thing that I asked God for originally. So everything that I'm doing, everything is connected to that. I tell my students we do a thing. There's a a website called the Oracle of Kevin Bacon. And what that website does is it shows the 6 degrees of separation. If anybody doesn't know what 6 degrees of separation is, is everybody is 6 people away from everybody else. So somebody within your network knows somebody within somebody else's network. We're basically 6 people away from everybody. And my thought and belief is as long as we continue to develop these relationships, eventually they'll get to where by our by coincidence, by universe, by prayer, by all these things, in addition to our own effort, will get us to where we want to be. So somebody within my work network right now knows somebody at UCI that's actually teaching. Somebody. I know that for a fact. I've already reached out. I got into the PhD program. It's not the program, but this thing called the PhD program, which talks about getting you ready for a PhD. Two of the UCI professors were there. One of them I emailed offline. I've already connected with one student. This was about a year ago. So now I'm building my research profile, taking the steps. I know this is a long process. They don't select everybody. It's a whole thing, da 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 da. But I'm taking the steps now, right? When I'm ready, they'll pull me up. And if they don't pull me up, I know one other college that will. So that's it. Everybody, oh, don't get you. I'm not listening to anybody but God. That's it. I don't care what the stats say. The stats don't know me. I'm not part of that yet. I'm the miracle. I'm the defined one. I'm the standard deviation. You dig? Right? I'm different. I'm the one that, oh, why they? He's the one that's a little bit different. I'm the one. How do we get this 1% over here? That dude. Period. And you got to think like that. You can't go in there with the mindset of no one's ever done this. Last person that done this will look like this. I don't care. You may be the difference in their profile. How did they let you in? Well, I'm here, damn it. And you gotta. This is my frame of mind, especially when you're doing stuff that's literally impossible. It's only one other person you can work with on some impossible shit, and that's God. Everybody else is gonna tap out because they don't believe it either. Unfortunate part about it. So the only thing soak this one up. The only person you can consult with on impossible stuff is God. That's it. Don't talk to man about it. They don't get it. Especially the people who haven't lived long enough or didn't witness any miracles in their lives yet. Everybody got them coming. They just asking for basic stuff. They just want to make. I just want to make it. I just want to make it to the gas station. Then that's all you'll get, right? You got to ask for more from God because He's capable. You asking for just. I just want to make it to the gas station. God, if you just give me the gas station, that's all you gonna ask for, dog. You just. That's it. For real. You feel what I'm saying? I'm gonna ask for more than that. God, get me to the gas station, fill this mother, and don't let me be out of gas ever again, man. Matter of fact, man, get me on some electric stuff, man. I'm tired of these gas stations. Watch how that works. You gotta ask, homie, what you playing with God for, acting like He can't do it, acting like He ain't capable. Are you serious? Miracles all the time, homie. Pay attention, write it down. He wants you to write it down. So you can share, man. Hey, man, look, man, what God did for me, homeboy. Let me tell you. And you see Deion Sanders, Puff, not to bring up but these cats, Jay Prince, God. You think they're preachers? No. Jay-Z, same. You think they preachers, homie? Why? Because that's what they talking about. They know, homie, where I was to where I am. I said never. I said, hold up. And that's the key right there. You can't buy into what the odds say. If they say never, you gotta say, hold up, homie. You ain't met me yet, dog. For real. Everybody's prayer, you pray, dog. You don't talk to the homies. You talk to God. If you want you want some like humans, like I need some chips from the store. You don't ask God for that. You ask the homies, right? I need some chips. You know what I'm saying? But you want miracles and real impossible stuff like, yo, I need to get from here, like from here to here. You gotta rely on the only people, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, in the movies, like, man, I only know one person capable of pulling a job off like that. Only know one. Yeah, I can give you his number. Right? That's we on some like that. I only know one person. Oh, you need a miracle dog? What kind you need? Okay. Get cracking. Praying. You know what I'm saying? You ask it, don't ask people for gifts, man. And gifts don't last long. Prayers last for lifetimes. Pray for me, dog. Seriously, pray for me. Like, pray for me, like to win. You dig what I'm saying? Like, and I'm gonna pray for you to win. I'm gonna pray for you to win anyway. I'm gonna pray for me to win. Like, God hears us all. More people tapping in, the more he just like I mean, he want he rather you believe him than this other fool, because other fool lying. Telling you how you thinking you gotta go out there and show the world stuff, right? For them to really get you on. I gotta do more stunts. I gotta show the world that I'm important. I gotta tell the world that I'm important. For real. I gotta do all that. That's ego. That's that fool. Ego is the one thing that gets you, oh man, gets you hit. Showing everybody I gotta floss in front of these clowns. No, you don't. Shut that down, homie. Do the right thing, right? Floss in the right way, put the diamonds in the right places. That's where a lot of people go wrong. They don't put the diamonds in the right places. There's one of them. Dig that. Not telling y'all what to do. I'm just saying. But you got to do the right thing so that you prepared, so that you're not flawed when it does become that time. Because it will be a time for that. And you need to be prepared. You need to be ready. You need to understand, right? What steps do I need to take? Life mapping. We talked about that. So let's start mapping it out. What do I need to do? I need to get this promotion. Okay, what does everybody who got the promotion have? They got a degree in this, or they took this type of training. They know how to do X, Y, Z. Okay, that's on my to-do list. We don't do bucket lists. We do to-do list, homie. Right? And throw it down. Okay. And then not only write it down, because they can get lost in the sauce. You can turn around as soon as you write it down, walk into the enemy's wrath. The minute you get, let me write this down. What you have to do is take some form of action. Get a number, put it in your phone. Even if they close tonight, it's in your cell phone. So when you're on the way to your job that you may not like, you call their ass in the morning, right? You apply pressure, man. Hey, man, let me find out what it's. Yo, period. How bad you want it, homie? But you got to put forth that action. I talked to you guys about that, about the Mel Robinson, Mel Robbins, the 5-second rule, how your mind will start talking you out of it. And the enemy will present some resistance as well. So you got to get cracking. So, moral is we need to put forth a map of what we need in order to get what we need to get. God will handle the heavy lifting. You ask for the big dream, you got it. Period. You ask for the big dream, you got that. He will give it to you as soon as you're ready. As soon as you're ready. So get ready. If you don't have it by now, guess what? You're not ready. It's almost like was the price is right. What does they say? Do I have 6 numbers right? No, you don't have enough numbers. You got to guess some more. So you need to put in a little bit more time. You don't have enough numbers yet, but you'll get there. Just don't quit, because that's what the enemy's designed to do, is to make you quit or make you put your ego in front of everything to try to say that I can pull myself up and not give praise to God. You tripping, homie. That will conclude our weekly tap in for this week. So what I'm listening to still is um, Les Brown. Still listening to Les Brown. I went back to a classic. Let me go ahead and show you guys. Yeah, appreciate that. Been praying for y'all too, homie. Trust me on that. You already know. So this was okay. Getting neutral. Yama Yama, Mrs. Mama. You can see my daughter and her mom been on here. But Les Brown, you can see that. Oh, you guys can't see. I'm sorry. So you can see that Les Brown. Hey man, I'm a Les Brown fan. I'm gonna tell you right now, man. This is a good one too. This is kind of Um, Short, but it's really good. One of my favorites though is and I've been dealing with this too. This is a little bit more religious. The Neville collection. That's a little bit more religious, but it's good as well. Um, yeah, because he's talking about feeling is a secret, psycho-cybernetics. Where is it at? The Manifestation Collection. This is one of my favorites right here. This is excellent. If you guys ever get a chance, I would suggest this hands down. All right, hold on. Where you guys at? All right. So yeah, what's the name of the book that breaks down reading small amounts at a time? Which one you talking about? You talking about Limitless or the Pomeretto Connection? That's the Pomeretto method. Um, if I think you're talking about the Pomeretto method where you read for 20 minutes and then you take a break for 5. But that's a certain. It's called the Pomeretto method. But it's a way that you read for 20 minutes and then you digest what you read for 5, as opposed to just reading for like an hour straight. It's a method. I'm listening to Quick Think and Grow Rich is also a great book. I also agree with that. Quantum Life is interesting, man. This guy is an astrophysicist. So he talks about his life of growing up. He got to smoking rocks but he's the man now. So it's a pretty interesting book. Age Proof Brain is good as well. This is about trying to protect your brain in terms of aging. I got heat in here, man. So it's a lot in here. Think and grow your way to. So you talk about Think and Grow Rich. There's another Napoleon. Think and grow your way to wealth. Courage to be disliked. I got tons of books on here, man. We can keep going. Audacity to be you. Restaurant success. How to Track Money, Alchemist. Alchemist is great. $40 Million Slaves about the athletes. 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. Success through PMA. What up, Fat Cat? You know about this, homeboy. Huh. I ain't even got to go there, homeboy. Yeah, what? Yeah. What's going on? You said the Dan Ho Investor. Oh, that's a good book too, Chris? I'll take a look, man. I'm always yeah, Cat, you already that he laughing. You already know, homie. Um So I ain't new to none of this. I've been at this for a minute. That's funny. So that will conclude our weekly tap in for this week. I certainly appreciate you guys. If you guys haven't subscribed, make sure you guys subscribe, man. We are on our way to 1,000, man. We are almost at 850, dude. Man, can you believe it? Thank you guys so much, man, for subscribing, for hanging with me. Time is a valuable resource, but I certainly appreciate you spending with me. Make sure you check out our sponsors, hairlivery.com, Cheryl's Famous Fried Chicken.com. He said first book you get. Indeed, Kat, you already know. Um, and mentorsla.com if you guys are ever in the LA area. Join us next week. We'll be tapping in again. But again, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit the subscribe, leave us a review as well. And I'm tapping out.